could be taking control, yeah.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Dylan. Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully each and every single one of you are feeling fine and fantastic. Today we're joined by the one and the only Tanya.
Hi.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to take a look at a unique video. This is called...
Why parenting in India is so unique.
Very good. Now, what do you think this entitles? You're so unique. What do you know about Indian parenting that is different from everywhere else?
Oh, from...
Did you ever have Indian friends growing up? No?
No.
No?
No. There's not. No, now there is a lot of
In Girona, yeah.
In Seoul, yeah. But when I was growing up, there wasn't...
A lot of...
No, there wasn't a lot. But what I've seen is parents in India are so paranoid about the kids, well, male children becoming a doctor or an engineer.
I think that stems to them just... that's the thing. Essentially, your parents just want the best.
Yeah, of course.
They just want you to be... They just want you to be successful. They just want you to have a life, because a lot of parents know when they were younger they were poor.
Yeah, of course. I'm
saying that's the only reason why they want to do that. Yeah.
But
essentially, it's not because they want them 100% to be a doctor and be like, oh a lot of parents say, oh look, my son is a doctor, or my daughter is a professionalist. Yeah. A lot of parents want that just so they can brag to their friends, which is wrong and disgusting. I despise you.
Yeah.
Absolutely wrong for doing that to your children just so you can show off to other people. But if it's to make your children successful and have a drive, no problem.
But shouldn't they decide what they want
Exactly.
to be?
But I wouldn't force a profession onto a kid.
Yeah.
A kid is born to let them choose their path. You're there to guide them, to give them assistance.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, I knew a friend in Australia when we went to school. I knew a friend whose parents, like literally his parents, when he was like 3 or 4, they literally had him lined up what his job was going to be and who he was going to marry.
What?
And this kid, seriously, this kid, I when I got to high school, I wasn't friends, because in primary school you go to different schools and you just lose communication with a lot of people, yeah. And when we got to high school, I've never heard of him again. And I saw him recently on social media, and he's not doing what his parents want him to. So
that's usually what happens.
And it looks pretty much a rebel. So.
But that's what happens. That's what usually happens.
Yeah.
With kids that their parents force them to do what they don't want.
But it also can work in a sense of discipline.
Yeah.
Because I'm a big fan of showcasing discipline to your kids and things like that. But I'm not a fan of pushing a kid somewhere where they don't want to go, because it's just going to create friction within the family. And that's not what you want. You want your children to be proud of who they are, not proud of who they aren't.
Yeah.
And just because your kid, for example, wants to be... I'll give an example. If your kid wants to do YouTube and you want them to be a doctor, don't be embarrassed about that. If your kid's happy...
And he's making money.
And your kids make money. If your kid's happy...
Okay.
You're happy. Because essentially, you're living for your kids to be happy.
Exactly.
Simple.
That's what it is.
But it all comes down to a lot of parents too. What you got to realize, want to say, hey, my son, my daughter, she's a supermodel, or she's a doctor, or he's a doctor, or he's a lawyer.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's what they want to do. They're not going to say, oh look, my son's a professional cyclist, because people are like, professional cyclist, what? But they don't realize professional cyclists may earn a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. As soon as your kid doesn't want to be a tree or something like that, like, Mom, I want to be a tree.
Matt, now, like off Back to the Future I just watched. Now make like a tree and leave. Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway, guys, I'm looking forward to this very, very much. Why parenting in India is so unique. Drop a big thumbs up if you enjoyed today's video, as well as hit that subscription button down below. And now, let's get into this bad boy. Let's do it.
With 25 million babies born each year, compared to 4 million annually in the US,
Wait, what? 25 compared to the US? I thought US was... Wait, what?
No.
But 25 to 4. That's a huge difference.
Yeah, but have you seen the population difference as well?
Yeah, but come on, that's huge.
I know.
25 to 4. Just imagine Australia, 25 to 500,000.
Probably.
it's easy to see that India knows a thing or two about parenting. So, how do they raise all those kids? Well, first off, there's the virtue of kindness and patience. One of
This is big.
Nice.
This is big. Very big in kids.
the biggest things Indian parents try to teach their kids is kindness. Little boys and girls are encouraged to be modest and nice to everything around them, from strangers on the street to the smallest bugs they find in the yard. Indians believe that every living thing on earth deserves the same amount of respect. And don't forget about patience. Showing your negative emotions and irritability is considered a big vice here. The patient man will rule the world is the motto Indian parents teach their kids to live by.
That's a good motto right there.
Controlled information. What do you remember watching on TV when you were young? A cat and mouse trying to outsmart each other? Well, Indian parents wouldn't be too happy about that. These sorts of borderline violent or silly cartoons aren't that big here. Instead, Indian children usually watch programs about art and education. You won't
I had no idea about that.
That's cool.
I had no idea about that. Now I think about it, that's quite dumb.
Yeah.
I remember watching a mouse, Tom and Jerry, chase each other. Like
Yeah,
literally
yeah.
a cat trying to kill a mouse.
Yeah.
That's dumb. What the heck? I'm sorry, guys. I always thought my mum dropped me on my head when I was younger, but it's because I was watching cartoons like that.
Yeah, blame the cartoon now.
see little kids glued to tablets either. People in India firmly believe that the internet can be dangerous for children and even harm their personality.
Yep.
Manners first.
Exactly.
Indian parents won't tolerate irresponsible and rude behavior. Kids can't just throw a major tantrum
Was my parents born in India? I swear they've literally said everything that my parents did to me. I swear.
and slam the door like a boss, unless they want to be grounded for months on end. Family fights won't fly either. Every child is taught to be respectful to their family members, and parents try to do everything they can to make the bond between siblings unbreakable. They're also very particular about table etiquette. Maybe toddlers can play with their food, but at 10, you'll definitely get in trouble for it. After all, manners maketh man, right?
But
Setting
they had a picture there of the girl eating with the hands. Isn't that typical in India where they eat with their hands because it's good for digestive? So why were they saying that was a bad thing in that picture?
a good example. How can a child be kind, respectful, and independent if their parents are rude and irresponsible?
Exactly. This should be projected around the world.
That's what happens these days.
Oh my gosh, that is spot on. Bright side, spot on right there. Spot on. Spot on.
Yep.
Your child is a spit image of you.
Indian parents are sure that their habits today are their children's future traits. That's why they don't lecture their little ones, but try to show them how everything's done by their own example. Plus,
Right.
in India,
Magnificent.
several families often live under one roof, so older generations never hesitate to show their grandchildren the ropes.
That's good.
Strong child-parent bond. Space is a privilege in India, so not that many children get their own room to themselves. Indian moms also believe in attachment parenting, so they try to spend every single minute that they can with their newborns. Indian doctors even recommend new moms sleep with their babies. Of course, it's pretty convenient. If your baby is anxious, wants to eat, or needs a diaper change, you can just handle the problem.
I'm a big believer in that. Having your kids sleep with you. Okay, look, if your kid's 20 years old and he's still sleeping with you, okay, you need counseling. But I'm a big believer in young kids sleeping with their parents. I'm a real big believer.
Yeah.
I'm a real big believer in that because I believe that, like, for our son, for example, he gets a lot of anxiety when he sleeps by himself and he wakes up with anxiety. But when he's with the comfort of his mum, dad, or his sister, when our two kids sleep together, they're good. They're good. They rarely wake up.
Right then and there. This kind of co-sleeping usually ends when a kid turns 6 or 7 years old. And this time together is believed to strengthen the bond between parents and their children.
Yep, I agree. 100%.
Dose
I
of
agree.
independence. Indian children usually start to work from a young age. Boys tend to work in the fields and help with the animals, while girls do chores and take care of their younger siblings. Indian parents want their kids to become independent and responsible as soon as possible, so no one is allowed to lie on the couch with a bag of chips and watch cartoons all day long. Of course, parents don't just leave their children to deal with the challenge all by themselves. They're always there in case their little one needs help.
But
important-
emphasize little one. When they're 30, 40 years old, please
Let them go.
let them go. Let them be a butterfly. Okay? When they're 30 or 40 years old, you're not supposed to protect your children in that manner. When they're younger, yes, because you're showing them the way. But let them go. Because when you're gone, they're going to be relying on you still. And then there'll be a mess.
Yeah.
A complete mess. When things hit the fan, financially, and also when there's how can I say, when there's homelessness involved, things will hit the fan.
Of education. Every parent wants their child to be the best, and Indian moms and dads are no different. They pay close attention to their kids' academic achievements and try to help them as much as they can along the
Good.
way.
That's good.
Indian
That's very
parents
good.
want their children to be successful more than anything. And what can open more doors for you than a good education, right?
I'm not having to dig at my parents, but did your parents do this when it comes to solving maths problems or something like that? They'd be like, I don't know. That's what the teacher's there for, to teach you. My
mom has always tried to help me.
She's always, even if she didn't know. My mum tried to help me, but she didn't know what she was talking about.
But that's not their fault.
No, of course.
At least they tried, you know.
But at least they tried. But it's like, I'd ask my dad, and he'd be like, well, that's what the teacher's for. Yeah.
So, strict playtime and study time rules are no surprise in an Indian household. And believe it or not, children often thank their parents later for teaching them the value of self-discipline.
That's the best thing, when the kids thank you later for it.
Spirituality lessons. For many Indian people, spirituality is a huge part of life. It's what their parents taught them, what their school encouraged, and the essence of who they are. From a very young age, kids know their family rituals and take part in them, slowly exploring this side of life. Indian parents believe that introducing their kids to spirituality right away helps them discover themselves and figure out the world around them. Well, that's one way to do it.
I like that.
Financial
I like that.
control. When it comes to money, Indian parents are anything but laid back. No, you don't need this. And nope, you don't need that either.
This is what I was telling you the other day about, remember? I said, you see an Indian walking around with scratched up jeans, ripped jeans, and thongs. Don't think that they don't have money. It's because that's non-essential to them. As long as they have pants and shoes on their feet, they don't care about spending money. So don't underestimate that.
That's how it should be.
Dude, I knew so many people working in the flooring industry when I was a little bit younger in Australia. I knew so many people that would come in with like short shorts and either no shoes and a singlet, and you'd be like, oh my gosh, this guy looks like he's homeless. And then you find out he's got a freaking $1 million house out in the farm with a huge paddock and everything like that. And you're like, whoa, okay. Don't judge people by their cover.
The logic behind this rule is very simple. Indian parents want their children to know the value of money from a very early age.
So important.
So even if a kid gets some pocket money, it's strictly controlled, and they know they can't just splurge on that cool Pokemon t-shirt. It's a pretty tough tactic, but it seems to be working all right. Indian children grow up understanding that they have to work hard to achieve financial stability. However, Indian parents also tend to pick their kids' career path before they even start
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
My friend, the exact same thing happened to him. The exact same thing.
talking. Of course, as you can imagine, this can cause some tension,
Exactly.
especially if the child wants to do something else. But in India, family is everything, so parents and kids find a common ground one way or another. The influence of school. When a kid goes to school for the first time, it's a big day for the whole family. And Indian schools do a great job at picking all the things that parents have taught their kids and taking them to the next level. They encourage tolerance and push kids to uncover their true potential. There's no concept of a favorite student here. Every child receives tremendous support and approval. Better yourself every single day. Teachers show kids that their main competition is themselves, not somebody else. And your parents are always there to catch you if you fall. Schools teaching valuable life lessons? That's pretty awesome indeed.
But you hear? School kids. School kids, not grown-ass adults. School kids. What's the most important thing your parents taught you? To love every Australian that you ever marry.
To study a degree.
To study a degree. Why is that important to you?
No, it's not important to me, but it's what my dad was paranoid about all his life.
Okay. And why is that?
Because
Why do you think he was like that?
Because he worked very hard when he was 18 and up. He's been working very, very hard all his life to get money, and he wanted his daughters to have a degree so they didn't have to suffer for money. They could get easy money, because obviously if you study, you can work in an office or things like that. You don't have to have back problems because you're building something and stuff like that. Yeah.
Exactly. He's right. He's completely right. But also in the other sense, it's not completely true.
No, you don't need a degree for that. But yeah, he knew what he was saying. Yeah.
Yeah, completely. But that's how it was back in the day.
Yeah.
I think the best advice I got from my parents, that's difficult.
It is very difficult.
It's difficult because I've been given a lot of good advice, not just by my parents, but my grandparents too, especially my granddad. But my parents gave me a lot of good advice, just like when it comes to respecting people and treating people the way you want to be treated. One of the biggest things I've ever taken out of my life, and I use it now, Tanya knows I use it. If someone respects you, you respect them back. But if someone disrespects you, then you don't give them the light of day, because it's literally going to drag you in a sense of depression and sadness.
Yep.
And you don't respect people that don't respect you, but project the positivity. Yeah. And that's what I try to... I tell Tanya all the time, like, have a look in the comment section, like, because sometimes in the comment section you get things that are so disrespectful, like you've done nothing wrong, but you get disrespected so badly.
Yeah. You need to. I believe that you project what you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
of course.
if you get positive influence from people around you, you're going to project positive vibes to people.
Of course. Exactly.
But if you have negative people in your life that make you depressed,
Yeah.
you're going to be depressed, and by influence of that, you're going to make everyone else depressed around you. You're not going
Correct.
to be positive. You're going to be negative. You're going to be talking about bad things all day. And
Correct.
that is like a rotten apple. And then it's like a circle. Everyone gets affected by that. That's why you have to cut with negative people in your life. If someone's not doing anything right next to you, even if they are your friends, just cut it. And same with the comments. This is a happy channel, this is a positive channel. All the comments have to be positive. So if you think that by writing something negative we're going to reply to you, no, you're wrong. If you want an answer from us, be positive, be nice, and just write something to make that can basically brighten up our day. Yes, if the comment is good enough, then you'll get an answer. But if you think that by be saying, oh, you suck, your reaction is not genuine, you're going to get an answer. No, because I'm just gonna block you from the channel. And yes, I delete the negative comments. I do. So if you write something negative, I'm going to delete it. I'm not going to leave it there. No, because it's, as I said, it's like a rotten apple. Someone writes something negative, it spreads around, and then the whole comment section is negative. And no, that's not going to happen. This is a positive channel. So if you have something positive to say, write it in the comment section. And if you don't, just write it in a piece of paper and then throw it in the bin. That is
Or write it, and put it up your butt.
That too. Anyway, I think
See, even when we say something like that, we turn it out to be a positive joke.
it's true.
I don't literally mean put it up your butt. It's what every Australian says, guys. When you tell someone off, you just say, "I'll put it in your butt" or something. Yeah.
Come on, if people have a sense of humor, they'll.
I know they do. They do.
So I don't know. These days, I see compared to the past, I see that children are like very spoiled and rude in general, and they don't appreciate what they have. And I don't know if it's because parents work too much and they don't have time to spend with them, and they have to, like, I don't know, because I know a lot of people that the children are raised by the grandparents, and obviously the grandparents have already raised their children. Yeah, they don't have to do it again for someone else's. Yeah, I don't know if they grandchildren, but they know their children. They did their job already in the past.
Yep.
So. Obviously, they don't have the same patience and the same. They don't have the same patience as they would if they were their children. And sometimes, I don't know if it's because of that or just because the parents are rude and it projects into the children, or because I don't know.
I think it's a mixture of everything. I think there's a mixture of everything, because there is a lot of, I teach a lot of good kids, really, really good kids. And you also get a couple of bad apples. But also it's got to do with things that they see at home.
That's what I mean.
So if they see the parents or even the grandparents, because some grandparents are just as bad as parents.
Yeah.
Don't let that slip just because they're grandparents. But you always get the bad apples because they see stuff at home and think it's normal.
Yeah.
And then they go to school and they project it onto their friends, and then their friends take it home to their mum and dad, and their mum and dad try their so hard out to be good parents and showcase. But yet when they get sent to school, the kids, they learn these bad habits and bad things from other kids. Like little Johnny has got the newest, I don't know, PlayStation game, and then the kid will cry because he hasn't got it.
No.
But you've spent your whole life raising your kid in a way where they have to earn it.
Mm-hmm.
But then they all of a sudden they just want it because little Johnny gets it.
Yeah, exactly.
For me, that's wrong. Being a parent, that's completely wrong. Because if your kid hasn't earned the right for something, you shouldn't be just giving it to them. They have to earn it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it gets projected onto the other kids, and the other kids they become spoiled, and it's unfathomable to think that there's parents out there that don't care about their kids.
Yeah. A lot of parents that don't care about their kids.
But it's
disgusting.
there. It's
This is
there.
disgusting.
It's there. It's there, and it's sad. And I feel like in India, what I've been witnessing in India is that parents care so much about their kids.
But that's how it should be.
Even I'm going to say, even the scammers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you see they're with their kids, they may be using their kids with a scam. But they care about their kids. They're sitting on the street with their kids eating food.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean. It's just like, I feel like work has taken over people's lives to a point where they've forgotten the main thing, and that's to be a parent.
Mm-hmm.
And work, as you know, work is such a stressful thing. People don't want to come home and deal with their kid yelling and screaming because people don't have patience.
Mm-hmm.
People don't want to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
When, hey, wait, you're the one who brought this lovely human being into the world, and yet now you don't want to care? Like, hello?
Yeah, exactly.
That's just like, literally, that's just like buying a new house and staying in the garage. It's like, you bought the house, you stay in the house. What the heck?
Yeah.
Like, but anyway, people are different. People are different. But at the end of the day, your responsibility as a parent, is to raise your kids well. And then when they get to a certain age, leave them the heck alone.
Yeah. 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 Good advice. I just hope more people could see this video, like in our country and in other countries, that basically the kids are spoiled like that. Because honestly, they show you, Indian parents, they show you so many good values.
Yep.
That they should be spread around the world.
Yep.
One thing that I find disgusting is the fact that the kids have so many toys and so many presents that you get into a point that you don't know where to put all that.
Yep.
And it's like, what it's stupid because they don't even use them. They don't even play with half of the things they have. They just, when you give it to them, they're happy, and they might be asking you for 20,000 things when they go to the store. But then they come home and they don't even play with it.
See, now that you're saying that, when I was younger, I had so many friends that had, we didn't have a lot of money. I didn't have a lot of money, guys. I mean, people that say I'm a privileged white guy get stuffed. I grew up in a really bad place, like not my parents' house, but neighborhood. Mm-hmm. I grew up in a pretty dingy neighborhood. And I never once, ever, well, maybe one time, I begged my mum for something, but who doesn't? But I never was that kid having friends that had everything. I had friends that had everything. I had friends that had everything. They got spoiled. I didn't go to my mum and dad and say, oh, Johnny's got this, I want this. Oh, mum, I want this, I want that.
Yeah.
No. Everyone wants some candy. I'll say to mum, dad, can I have this candy at the shop? Yeah. Some days you get lucky because mum and dad feel generous. They want to buy you the candy. But I never did that to my parents ever. No, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't make my parents feel bad in that way at all. Because I would know I'll just go to my friend's house and use the stuff that they have. That's what I used to do.
But would have all the stuff given them.
Exactly. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Anyway, guys, let us know in the comment section what you thought about today's video. Drop a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it, as well as hit that subscription button down below. Remember, stay safe, be kind to one another, but most importantly,
be happy.
Exactly.
Bye.
Peace.